What's up YouTube, KidMoto22 here, and today I'm bringing you guys an install I'm super excited about. I've been waiting to do this install for a while, and the time is now. So I've partnered with Advanblack, and I'm going to be installing the Razor tour pack on my bike. So if you guys don't know who Advanblack is, you need to go ahead and check them out, www.advanblack.com, and they do aftermarket OEM style parts for your bike. They do, they do specialize in Harley Davidson parts. They do fenders. They do extended saddlebags. They do top bags. They do the side covers, extended side covers, fenders. They have some specialty parts too, but really the thing I like about this company is that they do OEM paint match. So we're talking about exact match to the parts that are on your bike, OEM paint match. So this is something that's really great, and they are much less expensive than what you get from Harley Davidson or from an OEM dealer. These are paint match for your bike, and in my experience with them so far, they're exact fit. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see that I have their front lowers already, hard lowers on my bike. And they make them with the speaker pods, and I just have them with the glove box style front lowers. But I have those already on my bike, and I decided that, and I use it obviously for touring because I had soft lowers on there before and I really never took them off. And I wasn't that fond of the look of them, but functionally they were great. So I went ahead and got the hard lowers for the beginning of this season. And as my bike has started to transition into really more of what I wanted it to do, it's kind of that, it's a little bit performance bagger. I haven't gone into the motor or suspension yet, which is also kind of part of it. I've really gone more with the aesthetics part of it. But I decided that for a lot of my touring that I've been doing, I wanted to have a hard style bag, bringing more of my things with me that I wanted the look to kind of match when I'm touring to also when I'm camping or things like that, as opposed to using the previous bag that I had on there from before with the sissy bar backrest and rack that I had in the back. This has the pad on it and the tour pack. So so I decided to kind of change that and go with this style of look. So let's get to the install right now. Welcome back YouTube. As I told you all in the intro, I'm changing the configuration of the back of my bike to include an Advanblack Razor tour pack. So the first thing I'm going to do is just give you a little bit of an overview of what I'm going to be replacing. So I have the stock Harley backrest with the King HD rack. And I use that rack with the Rick Rack bag system, which was really a nice system and worked really well. And so I just want to provide myself with some options of a different configuration and something that's going to be a little bit more paint matched. So that's what we're looking at for the stock Harley parts for that system. And it's the charcoal gray denim, and I have the black hardware on this one, which I think is really going to set this off and look really nice. So that regular hardware on that side, and this is the back. The 3 holes that you'll see right there are for the mounting of the backrest, and right here is the mounting plate. And underneath here is a plate that goes on the inside of the bag, and I will show you guys that after a bit. And inside our little box here is the hardware for the mounting and the keys. So let's get everything off here. We'll get set up and we'll get ready to go. So yeah, this is the charcoal gray denim, and you can see the black hardware on this side. Really nice. So the first thing we need to do in this configuration is the back rack and the backrest need to be removed from the bike. So there's some latches down here on both sides that they move up on both sides, and they'll make some kind of snapping noises. The rack itself will lift out and then out this way. So we'll go ahead and get these taken out. And that's getting the rack out. And again, that's the stock King HD rack. It's a really nice rack, really solid piece, but I'm replacing it for what I want to be is essentially a different configuration. And then the backrest comes out much the same way. All right, and now I have that piece will tip up and come out just like that. So those locking mechanisms are much the same that you'd see, and kind of get a picture of the inside. These locking mechanisms are the same that you'd see on most of the hardware that the hardware systems that Harley uses. So the next thing that you need to do is, if you've got the mounting system, which is down here, and we can kind of get a little bit of a closer view of that over here, right here. So the rack is going to fit onto this mounting system here. And so I will go ahead and start to fit that on there, and we'll get this all started to continue to complete the install. Okay, so the way that Harley has this designed is these docking stations work for multiple pieces, and so we will only be using the back portion of this docking hardware. And so you can kind of see where this rubber grommet is going to fit into the docking station up here, and then the latch is going to come down on the back right there. So we'll go ahead and fit those in right now, and it's really a simple, kind of, I don't want to say plug and play, but it really slides into place pretty easily. So you want to kind of start at the top and then adjust these latches as you come down, as they fit in there. They'll come into place, and you'll start to see them come down, and they snap right into place. Just like that. And it is all nice and tight. So that mechanism has to snap into place right down there for you to know that they've all been snapped into place. So we're going to get to the next part of the install and go from there. So depending on the type of Advanblack system that you've purchased will all depend on what this part of it looks like. So I have the Razor tourpack, okay, in the matched colorway of my bike, and the black latches, okay. And I also opted for an interior that has the black on black lining. So I like the look of the lining. I didn't want the lining to be too conspicuous. And so it's just the plain black on black lining. Now this lining is amazing. It feels great to the touch, and it looks amazing on the inside. Not really, yeah, I can't explain to you how great this is. You'd be able to put a camera in here, whatever you really wanted that's going to fit the size of this case, and it's going to be protected from bouncing around. You're not going to have to worry about it getting scraped up or scratched up or anything like that. So underneath here, you'll see this kind of cutout section. There's a metal plate in here, and that actually fits right in there and will be installed as it goes on to the back, and then the pad will go in the top up here. So part of the liner will have to be removed so we can put the metal plate in, and it can go on the bike, and then also that the pad will have to go on too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this set up so that I can install the pad on the back, and then I'll remove the liner and we'll put the plate on and get that installed on the bike. And the install for this should be complete. It's a fairly simple, I would say, a fairly simple process for this install, but this is really going to be a dramatic change in the look of the bike. So we'll get everything set up, and we'll get the interior removed, and we'll go ahead and get the pack actually installed on the bike. For this section of the install, I'm just peeling the pad back. There are some holes on this side of the case that you can see there. There's 3 holes here. 1, let me get this up so you can see it. 1, 2, and 3. These 3 holes are going to be what the pad mounts to. And so we'll grab that and show you what that pad looks like. So the back pad looks like this. I opted for the small pad with just the plain finish on it. The reason why I did that is because I don't have, I have a smooth finish on my seat on my bike, and so I wanted it to kind of match that. And the pieces for the mounting are right here. And so I'm just going to get that dry fit on there first, and then I will go ahead and tighten those down. And again, I just kind of peeled that padding back. Fits in there perfectly. I'm just going to be putting this in. There's just the 3 screws that hold that into place. And I'm just hand tightening for now. I want to hand tighten it just to get the pad in place. And then once I get the actual pack fully installed on the bike, I'm going to go back in and retighten these up. I'm just hand tightening it for now, just as kind of a dry fit onto the motorcycle. All right, so there you can kind of see what that pad looks like when it's been fully installed. Again, I will go ahead and tighten that down. Once I get it installed on the bike and it's in place, it'll be a little bit easier to work on from that point. I'm going to open this up. For the bottom portion, again, this pad just peels back, and we can see on the inside the mounting points here, here, here. There's 4 mounting points in the inside and there, and that is going to be where that plate goes in. So I'm going to get everything set up to get this portion installed on the bike. All right, so part of the design of this system is that you have this nice metal plate, says Advanblack right here on it, and this plate, this one is black obviously to match the rest of the hardware, and this plate goes on the inside of the tour pack. And so this plate is what adds the stability for the tour pack when it mounts on the top of this, as opposed to just the fiberglass bag being mounted on this hard hardware. There's actually this stable plate in here which provides all the stability you're going to need to actually keep this, nicely in place. So we'll get the tour pack set on top. We're going to get this set in the inside. It actually has a little bit of a different shape to it on the top versus the bottom. So you'll see when you open up the inside of the tour pack exactly how this is supposed to fit in. There's washers and bolts, screws and bolts to go in here. And then on the actual mount, this isn't just a hole. So the tour pack is able to slide closer to the seat or further back, depending on your preference of where you want it mounted. It's also going to change the position, the seat position in terms of where your passenger's at using that backrest. So I'm going to get this set up here and get the plate put on there and get kind of everything in place. And then we'll get the plate put on the inside and the hardware put in there. So we'll get to work doing that. All right, so for this part of the install, second set of hands is definitely going to be helpful when doing the install. So I have my wife here. She's going to hold the tour pack in place while I get everything set into place where it needs to be. Okay, I'm just going to open this up. And this is going to come towards you. There we go. And I'll just have you hold on to that right there. All right, so again, we place the metal plate on the inside. And that's there, again, to hold everything in place. And then we're going to put these in, the screws kind of in, one at a time to get it all, to get them in there adjusted, and then we'll adjust the positioning from there. And all I'm doing is lining this up with the mounting plate that's below it and the metal plate that's on the inside. And once you've got two of them in, the other two seem to kind of fall into place fairly easily. All right, so you can kind of see how this can slide forward and backward. And that is once they're in those positions, and you can change that position basically however you desire, however close or further away you want it to be from your, where you want the backrest essentially to be for your passenger. And so I'm going to start with the position a little bit further back, and we'll see kind of what that looks like from the very beginning. So again, just like I did with the other part, I'm just going to hand tighten these on here so that I have it in the place that I want. And then I will tighten them down. And typically when I'm doing any type of install where I'm going to install more than one side at a time, when I go through and tighten them, I'm going to tighten kind of in that, like star or corner to corner kind of situation. And once I know I have it in the position that I want it into, I'll probably put just a little bit of just a little dab of blue Loctite on there, just to make sure that these don't shake out of position. The blue Loctite obviously isn't a permanent Loctite, but it will be strong enough to hold it into place, and we'll still be able to break loose when I want it to come off. So there we go. And thank you very much. My wonderful assistant helped me kind of hold it in place. So that really kept it in place. So I was able to kind of get it positioned and situated. That extra set of hands really is handy to kind of keep it in place. That way, you're not putting your tour pack on the top of that metal clamp or the metal, the mounting bracket, and it's not, kind of scraping around when you're trying to get it into place. So I'm just going to put the cover in and kind of set this down for now. And I just want to kind of step back and look at the position of this to see if this is the position that I want it in. And really what I'm going to do is kind of look at this back pad position and kind of go from there. So, and see if this is a good spot of where I want. Yeah, and you can tell already that it's kind of loose a little bit. It's not, not in a solid spot. So I'm just going to kind of look back. I think I'll slide it forward and look at it from that perspective and see what it looks like a little bit slid forward. And I think the position that I'm going to be in favor of right now is probably going to be more further forward to start with. I may adjust that position based on, rider position once I get my wife on here and kind of see where she's sitting on here. But for now, I think I kind of like it further slid forward. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it in that further slid forward position. I'll open this back up. I'm just going to go through now and tighten everything down and get it nice and tight and in place where I want it. So we'll go ahead and get this entire thing tightened down. And then we'll just do a complete walk around of what this looks like fully installed. I'm really, really liking the looks of this and what it's going to be able to do for me in terms of how I travel and how I'm going to be able to use it. So it's going to be really great. So the nice thing about the way this is set up is that when you're tightening these bolts down, you're really tightening metal to metal because the plastic is not actually being held in place by any of the metal. The metal plate is where the screws and bolts go through, and it's tightening to the mounting bracket, which is also steel on the bottom. So you don't have any position of these brackets that are set up so that it's going just through plastic and being held in place by plastic, which is really a good design feature as far as how these systems work. All right, so I have that fully mounted in place. I'm going to get this liner tucked back in here real nice, as it was. It really fits in here. It's just a really nice, perfect fit in the inside of this. Now, this liner isn't something that you'd have to purchase if you got these, but just based on what I'm seeing so far, I would highly, highly recommend. You're not really losing any space in the inside of this, but you are gaining a ton in looks because the inside of this is just so clean looking now. And in terms of it being functional, you have a padding on the inside that's really going to be great for anything that you want to store in here. That's just going to be a really good storage option for you. So as you can see by what I did on the install here, that Advanblack really sends the tour pack to you essentially fully installed. You have to put the back pad on. All of the hardware that you see comes already on the bike or already on the pack, and then you just have to install the hardware that goes underneath. If you don't have the docking or mounting hardware, Advanblack does sell that docking hardware. I did have it on mine, so I didn't have to install it. So that was good. That was already there. The fit and finish of this is perfect in my opinion. It fit on my bike with no trouble at all. It was a flawless install. I did adjust the pack a little bit further back. I had it kind of set too far forward when I first initially did the install, and the bottom of the back pad I had to like kind of tuck under. Once I moved it back a little bit, the back pad falls right behind the seat perfectly. So it really is an amazing addition to my bike. I'll kind of step back and give you the full look of what it looks like. And we're just going to do at this point a walk around of what it looks like, and you'll see the comparison of the before and after of each side. Well, there you go. That's the install. It was very straightforward. There's many things about this that I really like. I really like the liner that I decided to go with. Obviously the metal plate that's on the inside of there, so that when you're mounting, you have, you know, the bag on the bottom, metal plate. So your screws are going metal plate through metal plate on both sides. The screw and the bolt are on metal plates, but the liner on the inside is a great finish to the inside of that bag. You can put whatever you want to in there, as far as clothes, backpack, you know, gentle things that you're not going to have to worry about kind of banging around in the inside of a bag. I really liked the Razor style because it's even smaller than the chopped bag, so it looks really streamlined on the bike. Really think it looks badass on my bike. I love the way that it looks. Full disclosure, I did the install and filmed the install about just a few days before I was going on a long trip. And so I've already ran the pack for 2,000 miles. So I can give you a bit of a first impression, which is it's exactly how I wanted it to work for the style of trip. I was able to go on a 2,000 mile trip. Bike looks really incognito. It doesn't look like I'm traveling because I don't have, you know, bags and things hanging off and fully packed down, but I had both my side saddle bags full and the top bag full, the Razor bag full, and it was a perfect, you know, look to travel without it looking like my bike was fully laden down. So when I was parked in a hotel, that kind of stuff, it looked really, you know, really like a normal bike parked there. The locking mechanisms work really great. You do have to carry a separate key because it's not an OEM Harley bag, so they have a separate key mechanism, which really isn't that big of a deal. Works the same way as your normal bags on your bike. Paint match, perfect. It is still the denim style paint and looks great. I can't say enough about that. Has the black hardware on it, which matches the Road King Special styling really well. So I have to give Advanblack big props. They make a great product that comes from the factory, paint matched, so it looks great on your bike, and they're quite a bit less expensive. Now, I will say this, you're not sacrificing quality for price either. So this is a quality product. It's well made. The hardware is good. The mounting brackets were good. Everything you can see now, you could see I already had the mounting hardware on my bike because I had a backrest and a rack on my bike. So I did not have to replace the mounting hardware. So you saw that it was pretty much put the bottom mount to the bag and snap it right into place, and it was done. I mean, the install itself, I mean, we're looking at, you're looking at a 10 to 15 minute install with a couple of really simple tools, and you're ready to roll. I mean, it's really not hard. Big thank you to Advanblack for partnering with me with this this particular product. I have to give a big shout out to them. They make a great product and they have been a great company to work with and a great partnership. So that's about all I have for you guys today. I'll throw in a link for another video that you might like up here of my install for my hard lowers, which are also an Advanblack product. I'll put a link up here to my video. If you want to subscribe, whatever, you can hit that up here. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. And again, like I said, you can hit the subscribe here. It'll be somewhere up over here. And I appreciate you guys watching. This is Kid Moto. I'm out.